This is me.
Hello.
And in this video, I'm going to show you how I turned this boring garage space into a fully working art studio. And with a bit of... and I'll show you how I did it. But first, let's rewind a little bit. The garage started life like this. Well, tell a lie, it actually started like this. Embarrassing. So we'll say it started like this. Anyway, the plan. Here's my accurate garage. Keep a quarter of the garage as normal garage space, and I'm going to selfishly take 3/4 of it all for me. So storage space, sofas, a cheeky little potted plant, and a freewheeling pallet trolley. And here's me showing how I can move it around. So now that we have our plan, we can get to ticking things off this list. First thing is clearing enough space for the door guys to come and fit the door. While sorting things out, I actually found some of my first tattoo awards, which was cool. I kind of forgot about these. And this really cringy old newspaper article. Oh god. The door guys can come and do their thing. Doors are in. That's the major first step. I couldn't do that myself, but everything else I'm going to do. So been and picked up some studs. Going to build all the stud walls across here, and then the internal wall here, so we've still got a bit of garage space. So now we can get building. This is the first of the stud wall sections that I need to build. These are going to sit in the gap between the breeze blocks along the exterior walls. Quick test to see if it fits, and it does. Whee! So here is me working out a breathable membrane that's going to sit behind all of these walls. This is because I actually don't know why. I just saw a guy on YouTube do it and I thought that's probably a good idea. I'll copy him. He probably knows more than me. We're actually going to cover the entire floor with a damp-proof membrane as well, just to stop any issues with damp later on. So we've got two of the internal walls built already. I was going to build this one here, but because we're putting a damp-proof membrane, I think I might have to build it first. But because if you see these roof bits here, that's going to be quite snug. These have got a gap, so I haven't actually had to be too precious about getting the measurement correct. It's going to slot up in there anyway, so I've kind of just eyeballed it a little bit. But these are going to have to be exact. I'm going to have to measure them perfect. So if I measure the stud wall, put it in, it's going to be a bit tight. We're a bit of a squeeze moving things around to get it back in. So I think what we're going to do is hoover up all this dust, get this as clear as possible, damp-proof membrane down first, then build the stud wall on top of it. Otherwise I think it's going to be too awkward building a wall, taking it down, putting the membrane, putting it back up again. I think we're going to have to kind of build it to fit one shot and get it in, because it's going to be a bit of a squeeze in there. So you might notice that I actually didn't build this section complete. There's a bit on the edge that's left off. That's because the garage just wasn't wide enough. If I'd have built it complete, it'd have been stuck in the side and I wouldn't have been able to stand it up. Also, the membrane is down. I didn't film that because it was just way too awkward. It took me and my wife both 2 hands to do it. We couldn't film it at the same time. Right, first one going in. Ta-da! 400 more to do, that's all.
Okay.
So here we are, we're down to the last ones. Just these ones down here in this small gap, which means I have to do the lengthway cuts, which is a bit annoying because I don't have a jigsaw. But all along this row here, there's going to be some big units. So if I go a bit ski with, I can rectify it by just covering it up with a big unit and no one will know. And after them super annoying lengthway cuts by hand, that is the flooring complete. Electrician has been, that is his first fitting done. So now all we've got to do is put on all the plasterboard, drywall stuff to make the walls, and then he's going to come back when that's all done and get all the plug fixtures and everything set up and the lights put in. The installation is in. I didn't film any of this because I had to wear gloves and protective clothing and, you know, multiple layers because this stuff is gross. I didn't want to keep touching my phone and it was just going to slow everything down with all the protective gear. So nice little satisfying tick off the list. Onto the plasterboard section now. This bit is reasonably self-explanatory. By the way, I know there's going to be someone in the comments telling me that I'm doing all of this wrong. That's fine, but just bear in mind, this is only my garage, it's not my house. It's not meant to be perfect, it's somewhere to paint. I'm not a professional by any standards. And talking about not professional, check out this bodge. Bruh. Managed to get this around the light switch cabling. I was actually quite proud of that. This is my first time ever using a circular saw and I was terrified. I wanted to have a plywood wall as well. This was just future-proofing any gadgets that I need in the future that need wall mounting, just be a little bit stronger if I could just drill straight into plywood. And it's a good thing about all this plywood, the offcuts, absolute perfect size for a painting. So I'm going to keep that, put that to one side, gesso that, and that'd be great for some kind of project in the future. These ceiling boards was so awkward to put in. I had to rope my dad into helping me with this. Efficient use of my head here. It was slightly awkward because the length of the board wasn't quite as wide as the garage, so we had to make an efficient use of those beams above so it was nice and strong. Also we had to do board insulation, which was quite awkward. Here is the aftermath of that, and again, my wife to the rescue with the sweeping brush. Professional joiners and carpenters, cover your eyes now. This was so hard to do one-handed while filming it at the same time. But somehow I got this door hung. It worked. The filler was easy enough to do, but the sanding was too hard work, so I thought I'd breach some child labour laws for this bit. Put my feet up. I mean, you're not really supposed to paint straight onto plasterboard, but we roll. This place is going to get splattered with paint anyway, so who cares? We officially have power now, which means onto the trickiest stage, building the French cleat system. I have never built a French cleat wall thing before. How that works is you put a 45-degree angle on here and then attach the shorter side to the wall, so the angle's kind of set like that, and then you have all your gadgets and stuff on the corresponding angle, and that should like slot in on top. So I can attach canvases, panels, and even like reference material or anything like that, all attached to one big sort of grid on the wall, so I'm not taking up the floor space with the triangle footprint of a traditional easel. And just like that, it's done. So this is how the gadgets sit on the cleat. I cut a couple extra strips just to rip down into the widgets at completely random sizes. You never know what projects you're going to need and how strong you're going to need in the future. This is going to be my pallet trolley, storage shelves with paints, etc. I plan on having a few paintings on the go at any one time, so this enables me to be mobile around the studio. I had a spare sheet of plexiglass laying around that I'm cutting down to size to use as my pallet on top of the trolley. At some point I'm going to upgrade and build a larger one with a glass top, but I suppose that will have to wait till part 2. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing for more art videos, paintings, tattoos, all of that stuff. That's perfect. And now all there is left to enjoy is the final shots.